What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast being brought to you by BetMGM every single morning for 330 consecutive mornings. You have found this podcast on BettingPros.com. You can follow BettingPros on Twitter at BettingProsNFL or myself on Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. Okay, so first things first. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've got two things for you. First, I'm wearing a hat forward. There's a reason for that. On my live stream today, I was called a 45-year-old child because I wear my hat backwards all the time. So I just thought I'd give that person a little bit of a reprieve from wearing my hat backwards. I don't think wearing your hat backwards says anything about you, your personality, your work ethic, or your demeanor. I think people who judge you, like Colin Cowherd, who judge you for those such things, are clueless, to be quite honest. But I thought it would be okay. Let's be funny. And I'll wear my hat forward today for all you guys that get all up in a bunch like, oh no, Matt's wearing his hat backwards. He's a punk. So, I've been a punk my whole life, haven't you? If you know my history, you know my background. Some of you do, some of you don't. But I'm not exactly a choir boy. How about that in terms of the way I have had in my life, in my career? But that's a different day for a different story. So the hat's on forward today. And we got over 1,000 reviews. That took us only until it kind of refreshed, but we're at 1,700 reviews on Apple. So thank you for that. Very, very cool. And to celebrate, this is what you guys are going to be competing for. That is an autographed Shaquille O'Neal jersey that I'm holding up here. If you're just listening and not watching, that is an autographed Shaquille O'Neal jersey. Autograph is right there. You guys can have this in your man cave. You can get it framed. You can stick it up. I want this. It's awesome. It's so cool. That is your certificate of authenticity that I'm holding up right there that will go with this so you can be sure to show everybody that this is true. Pristine Auction. They give us this stuff every month. And if you have not entered into the contest to win this thing, what are you waiting for? That's the coolest thing we've given away yet so far. Autographed Shaquille O'Neal jersey. Very cool. I want to keep this. I want this. You guys can win this by going to Apple or Stitcher, leaving a review for us. Positive, negative. Thank you, everyone who did it. Those last 40 are awesome. They got us over the top for 1,700 and climbing now for reviews. But that's where you go to bettingpros.com/juice. Screenshot the review. Go to bettingpros.com/juice. Drop the file in there, fill out the form, and you're entered into that contest and every contest from here on out for you to go ahead and try to win some free stuff from bettingpros.com, from the great folks here at Pristine Auction, and myself, the Daily Juice, Matt Perrault. So, very cool. That thing's awesome. If you're just listening to this, go to YouTube, go watch the video, search Betting Pros, and watch the Daily Juice for today. You'll see the jersey. It's black, it's blue, and the autograph is clear, and it's sick. It is really, really, really cool. I'm not a big autograph person, but that is awesome for a Shaquille O'Neal jersey, Shaq jersey. Very, very cool. Okay, so last night, this is where I'm at. We go, well, the third period's still going on, but it's 3-2. So by some miracle, maybe we got a 2-1 night on the half unit plays and 0-2 on the player props. More on the player props here in just 1 second. But I'm thinking I went 0-2. It's 3-2. If I somehow survive, the under survives, I will be floored. Most likely it's going to go over. One more goal will be scored, and we'll lose. We'll go 1-2 on the half unit plays and 0-2 for the player props. So it's about down a full unit and just not really all that great of a night. Bad night, losing night. But it's kind of weird because I had 3 personal plays that I gave out on the Discord channel, and I tell you, I have more than the plays going because I bet overnight. So throughout the day, I've got the podcast plays, and then throughout the day, I will see something that I like. And so the Pens and the Penguins game hit 5. It dropped down. Total went to 5. We bet the over. It came in easily. So like the second I saw that, it was like, bam, 5, bet the over. Boom. It's just the number I'm betting. It's just kind of where I'm going. When I see 5s, I'm firing. More on that later in the podcast. But we see 5, we're firing, so that was it. I had 2 bets on the Red Sox. When I bet the Red Sox, I do fairly well. I had plus money on one of my bets, and I was laying some juice on another one. But Red Sox win the game. They come from behind. Huge win. Great win for the Red Sox. Plus money on that. So I wound up 4-4 if that under doesn't hit. So I'm 4-4, but up because of plus money. So a small winning day for me. But the podcast is down. So, as I always say, The podcast plays are great, but the whole point of the Discord channel is to build the community. And if you aren't in there yet, I can't stress this enough. If you're listening to the Daily Juice and you like what we're doing, if you're watching the Daily Juice, you have a phone. I'm guessing you have a smartphone. The Discord is a really cool place to be, and you don't have to post. You don't have to even, go on there all that often. Just like around 4 o'clock Eastern, go and search my name at Sports Talk Matt. And I post most days, hey, I'm personally on this or I'm personally on that. I just tell you, some days I do really well. Some days I don't. This week has been weird. My personal plays have been better than the podcast plays. So, my personal bankroll is doing really well this week. The podcast is not great. That's on me. I need to make better choices. I need to get better bets. I need to give out better bets on the podcast. I need to be more confident in the plays I'm giving out. But that's kind of where we are here. So hopefully another Friday that we come out of the gates and do well. Fridays have been pretty good for us because Fridays are the day that we gave out the Don't Bet Parlay parlays, which is now 4 and 13. 4 and 13 means we are way up if you have bet. And again, don't do this, but if you bet $100 on this, you're way up if you bet $100 on every parlay. Again, I'm supposed to be showing you what not to do and why you shouldn't be betting with parlays. But here I am, way profitable every Friday giving out this Don't Bet parlays. And last week it hit. For some of you, it hit as well as plus 850. And I said going in, I like the parlay. This week, I like the parlay again. It's plus 660, and I like the parlay again. It's 4 legs, and I like the parlay again. I shouldn't, but I do. So without further ado, let's get to the picks and let's get to the plays here coming up for today. Let's start with the parlay, okay? 4 legs is a plus 660 parlay, okay? Here we are. I've taken a picture of this so I can make sure I can read it properly, okay? 4 legs. The first leg, the Colorado Avalanche on the money line, minus 205 against the St. Louis Blues. I'll have another play on this coming up here in a second, but I think this is a mismatch, a big mismatch. Avalanche to win. Number 2, we go Hurricanes minus 143 on the money line. Hurricanes to win. More on that game here in a second. The Golden State Warriors on the money line, minus 170. Golden State to win. More on that game here in a second. And the fourth leg, and this might be the most controversial, the most difficult to catch, to get, to cash. Warriors under 221. Okay? Warriors under 221. When you look at the Warriors, we've talked about this a lot. I personally was on the under for the Warriors. In the Lakers game, it came in easily. Last 2 games have been under, including the last game against Memphis, which was 228, and it came under by 14 points. It was a 113-101 win by the Golden State Warriors. 14 points worth of value there potentially because the total was 221. It's a lot lower, okay? A lot lower than the first time. It opened at 224, and the first move was to the under, and it drove it down to 221. My hope is by the time you guys bet this, it could climb a little bit. Remember, I don't play this, but if you could climb a little bit, and if it does climb, I'm going to have a personal play on the under. I will personally be on this, but I'm waiting all the way till right before game time, and I'm hoping that the public says, oh, it's Steph Curry, and oh, go ahead, bet the over, and we see more points go. But for the podcast, for the parlay, that's it. Plus 660. Avalanche money line. Hurricanes money line. Hurricanes taking on the Nashville Predators. Again, a big mismatch here between those two teams. Hurricanes to win. Warriors minus 170 on the money line to come back and win. And the Warriors under against Memphis at 221 is a plus 660 for the Don't Bet Parlay parlays that I like. I like it. I liked it last week. I like that this week. I shouldn't, but I do. So let's continue with this, okay? Let's talk about the Avalanche. And let's talk about where they are right now up against this St. Louis Blues team that I think is just reeling. They're at home, okay? And so maybe there's going to be some big push. But Philip Grubauer has been so good for the Avalanche that they're just so much more talented. The puck line is plus 120 for Colorado. I don't know how in the world you don't bet this. It hit the first 2 games. There's just a big mismatch in talent here, and I think I have eyeballed the under in this game, so I may be personally on the under as well, but the safer play is Colorado 2-0 on the puck line so far, that they come back again, and look, the Blues just cannot handle McKinnon and company. They can't handle, these the offensive firepower that the Avalanche have, and whenever they want to throw it out there and they throw the gear up, I mean, my God, there was a 5-minute major in the last game, and they scored 1 goal on it, but the puck line still hit even with the 5-minute major, which is a rarity. So I don't think you're going to see it. Either a 5-3, 6-3, maybe somewhere in that range, or maybe just a 3-1 win for Colorado here. I haven't made up my mind yet, but the better play, Avalanche plus 120, half a unit on the puck line for the Avalanche to win here and go up 3-0. Remember, if they go up 3-0, we have that bet on the Avalanche to sweep St. Louis. We'll have to come back and see what the plus money is for St. Louis in game number 4, but there's going to be a chance there to guarantee a profit, which I absolutely love. I love when you can guarantee a profit, and we'll be on both sides. If St. Louis wins, great, we win some money. If the Avalanche sweep, great, we've got even better odds at plus 400. We had a quarter unit down on that, I believe, right, at plus 400. So beautiful thing that we want to come in and we want to have that cash. So more on that coming up before game 4. But play number 1, Avalanche on the puck line at plus 120 for their first game for play 1 against St. Louis. Play number 2, staying in hockey, Hurricanes Predators, totals 5. I don't have to explain much, do I? Totals 5. Predators are with their backs against the wall. They got shut out 3-0 in the last game. They lost the first game 5-2. I think their building's going to be rocking, and I think you're going to see an up-tempo game. I could see goals early if you want to bet over 1.5 in the first period. That's a potential there. But 5 means I bet the over. And I'm just betting the over. Okay? It's just where I'm going. I'm betting the over. 5 is going to be an auto fire for me on the over. So far, so good. It's been 5 twice, or maybe 3 times. It's cashed at least twice. It may have cashed 3 times where 5 has come with the over. So we're going 5 over Carolina and Nashville. I'm not going to explain too much on this, but I think Carolina scores 4 goals. I need the Preds to score 1. 3-2, I'll take that as well to 5, and then maybe get an empty netter late, somewhere along those lines. But I think 5 gives us a great push potential and a chance to potentially cash if something fluky happens. So Nashville's got to score. That's their only thing. Nashville's got to put at least 1 in, hopefully 2 pucks in, and then we're going to be good for the over. So we just need Nashville to score 2 goals here. They've scored a grand total of 2 goals in the whole series, but hopefully being at home will change things a little bit here for Nashville. Over 5 for Carolina in Nashville. And the final game that we'll talk about is, well, the Golden State Warriors. Minus 3.5. Shop, okay? It's 3.5 right now. It could be 4, but find a 3.5 for the Golden State Warriors. What happened last time with Memphis, right? Shop, I was on 4. I was on 3.5. It landed 4. A lot of you guys pushed. 3.5 cashed. Same situation here with the Warriors. Look, I just don't think they can handle Steph Curry. All right, and when they're going to be running around trying to handle Curry, I've been very impressed with Andrew Wiggins with the way that he has played. I thought he played phenomenally well against the Lakers. This team defensively has been playing really, really well. That's why the parlay's got the under. They're just really coming along nicely, and I just think these teams have seen each other before. I think you're going to see a little bit of a slower tempo than what both teams want. I think you're going to see probably, from a player prop perspective, I'll talk about this a little bit, but Valanciunas played pretty well. He had 29 points and 16 rebounds. I think that's pretty much it. It's like the Warriors are cool with giving him his points and then stopping Dillon Brooks and stopping Ja Morant and not allowing anybody else to have a monster crazy game and just living with that and being comfortable living with that. So I think that's kind of similar game plan for Steve Kerr. I think there's a coaching mismatch in this game. The best player on the floor is going to be Steph Curry, and they're at home. Lay the 3.5. Warriors minus 3.5 for a half a unit is where we're going with this, okay? Again, personal play on the under probably coming at some point. We'll see where the number closes. If I can get it back to around 223, 224, if it climbs back up again, great. I'm coming in on the under, but nothing there yet officially on the podcast as of right now for that. So, okay. So here are the plays once again for the don't bet parlays plus 660 on this one. Avalanche money line, Hurricanes money line, Warriors money line, Warriors under 221 against the Memphis Grizzlies. 4 legs plus 660. We have the Avalanche on the puck line at plus 120. We've got the Hurricanes and the Predators over 5 goals. And that was minus 135. Sorry, I didn't give out that. It was minus 135 on that. Paying over 5, minus 135 on that. And the Warriors minus 3.5 at minus 110 are the 3 plays for us here on the podcast. Now, real quick on the player props. I'm 1-3 in my last 4 in the player props, and we haven't done great. I think we're like 2 and 5 or 6 on the last NBA player props. And the reason is when you bet the entire season, night by night, you've got 10, 6, 7, 8, 9 games to pick from. Now we're really been condensed to like 1 or 2 games a night. So I don't know if I'm going to come back. I may have 1 player prop going tonight, and that's it. I had 2 going in the game last night. Russell Westbrook doesn't get there because of the fact that there was a blowout, so they sat him down, and then Sabonis fouled out. He was close to getting his rebounds and assists going over his, but he fouled out, so that killed that. So, those things happen. It's why I bet a quarter unit on props. But I don't like having to only pick from 1 game. I want to wait the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We've got the full complement of games to look to and really get into. That's when the prop bet cheat sheet really is beneficial because I can sift through all the different picks and plays. I'm not really a huge fan of the fact that we only have 1 game tonight for the NBA player props. I don't like betting Major League Baseball props, so it's kind of a eh. So I don't know. I may pause on the player props. Maybe I'll add, if the number goes high enough, I may add officially the under for the Warriors game instead of the player props, and that will be the other half a unit that we'll throw on the podcast for you guys. But I just don't know yet. We'll see. Go to the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link on YouTube, which is always listed right below all the fun stuff on YouTube that you guys can check out. My name is Matt Perrault. It is Friday. Every Friday, every day, it's the Daily Juice Podcast brought to you by BetMGM right here on bettingpros.com.